Wow. This is the Babylon podcast.
I sound like
This is the Babylon podcast.
I'm playing it
on Slack.
I opened it another program too.
Oh, it was rubbing alcohol. I accidentally
try
gave
to
a mouse like
translate.
nerve damage with rubbing alcohol once.
How did you even interact with a mouse?
I was trying to unstick its feet from a sticky trap with rubbing alcohol, and then it got all like fucked up from inhaling it.
Yeah.
But it also
Why
might
were
have
you
been
trying to
fucked up
save it?
because sometimes they break their. I felt bad for it.
But you put the trap out in the first place.
I did not put the trap out. That was when I worked at the fitness center, and they put the trap out. And I don't agree with sticky traps. I think they're inhumane.
I don't buy it.
No, I think he does feel that.
So in our hypothetical scenario where we harvest Victor, sticky traps are off limits. The arena will have no sticky traps
They should get to die the way nature intended.
by a lion.
By a lion. I had this teacher.
Well, there's
in-
and pits; those exist. There's quicksand.
That's true.
Okay,
That's true. That's not nature intending that. It's nature's mistake.
Okay, are we doing this? Are we recording? Oh. Welcome back to Babble Lab.
this is awkward. Oh, there it is. Now it feels official.
It is.
What is this? Episode 6.
Sex episode. In this episode, we're going to talk about reproductive health and reproductive harm.
And then do it.
And then cause reproductive harm to each other. Welcome to Babble Lab, the show where we hammer nails down dicks.
Brought to you by Jackass.
That was as bad as it possibly could. When you said down the dick.
Yes. It's called
Hammering dicks is bad enough.
it's urethral sounding, I think is the term.
sounding.
Sounding.
When you sound something, you hammer a nail down it.
No, I think it's more like inserting and taking out a rod.
Okay.
I don't know too much about it.
But if you have to hammer it, you've hit some hard point, right? So I imagine you pushing it all the way into like
Well, you don't
your
have-
pelvis.
you don't have to have hit a hard
you
point.
make that
You can-
outie and innie.
You can squeeze the dick to add friction, and that's your hard point right there.
I think my hard
But
part's
you
over
still
here.
don't need a hammer to get through there.
You don't need a hammer. You don't need to do a lot of things.
Yeah,
The hammer's just for fun.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
the hammer
could
adds.
you could use a heavy rock. You could just use your hand, but you know. What?
You've been taking lessons from chip videos.
I've been taking
Right?
lessons from Castaway. You know the scene where he uses the rock and the ice skate to knock that nail down his urethra.
So you're watching different Castaways.
How does the ice skate get used?
I don't remember. I was pretty drunk.
Was he just wearing them?
Did you happen to watch this Castaway on Pornhub.com?
Jake was watching casting
I think
couch.
I think it was
Castaway.
on. I think it was on Live Leak.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
so are we just,
When I get linked
World Star
videos,
Hip Hop.
you know when people share a video, right? And they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you got to check this out," and then you click it, and then Live Leak opens.
Like,
You're
I
like,
don't
"Oh
know.
shit!
Oh no!
shit!"
I don't have to check this out.
That means whatever is on here isn't allowed to be shown on YouTube.
Yeah, and probably shouldn't be shown anywhere.
And we'll probably be taken down from the internet. Moments.
Speaking of which, I have a treat for you guys at some point.
I don't want
Oh
this.
god. Okay, let's put it on. Let's put
No,
that on
thank
hold.
you.
I don't even know. Let me just.
Jake's saying that's like the
We're
it's the
so-
Halloween
we're
equivalent
so-
of like
we're
the razor blade and the candy
We're
apple.
so derailed already. let me just reset a little bit.
Oh.
Welcome to Babble Lab.
The show where we hammer nails down dicks.
No. All right, taking it again. Here we go.
Take 3.
Welcome to Babble Lab. All right, so on this week on Babble Lab, we're doing the same thing we always do. My name's Cole. I'm your host. I'm here with the Jeffs and Jake.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
I like how you didn't give
Wait,
me any
which one's
time
the unfortunate
on that
part?
one.
The Jake is a necessary evil.
Oh,
apparently.
okay, that's what it was. Okay.
What we do here, we have a lot of segments. We have two main
We
segments.
really only have 2. Yeah.
We have,
And then we have occasions where we get derailed from those 2 segments.
Which is like all the time.
which is funny because our segments are mostly just derailing of those
But
segments.
it's intentional derailment.
Sure.
Yep.
Intentional. Is it derailment if it's intentional?
Yeah.
It's
The
derailment.
derailment is
Derail
always
the derailment.
the changing of the state,
Oh.
right?
I'm thinking of a train. Whenever you say derailment, all I can think of is train.
Well, if you're on a train and then you intentionally turn the steering wheel really hard and you come off the
is there a
tracks.
steering wheel on
Yeah.
trains?
How do they turn?
I don't know enough about trains to get into this argument. I'm just
Never
gonna let
thought
you
about
have
it that way.
Yeah, so we have 2 segments. Our segments are I've never heard of that. You've never heard of that. We've never heard of it.
Society is not
never
aware
heard
of
it.
this.
Who done it?
No one's ever. No, it's called Never Heard of It.
Just explain what it is.
Never heard of it. That is where they've never heard of something and I've researched a topic, usually on Wikipedia by going to random Wikipedia
Just
pages.
say what it literally is. Cole clicks new.
I do.
Like on the
Well,
random
no,
thing.
Yeah, random page.
And he says, this looks good. We'll talk about it. And he writes it on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
None of us have seen it or heard about it or
That's-
read it. We draw it out of a hat.
Yes.
And then we have to guess what it is based on just the words. And
I'm
we
getting-
go off the rails, and then we eventually learn what it is and we react to it.
Speaking of which, I've been meaning to talk to you guys. I need to expand the hat budget.
Oh,
I kind of blew through
we
our
don't-
whole year's hat budget
don't
in
have
like 4
anymore.
episodes.
We had the beer hat, the 10-gallon hat, the fire helmet.
fireman's hat.
If I ever get my
the
goddamn
bowler hat, which is very
Panama hat
controversial.
that I bought in the mail, I'll bring it in.
Okay.
Okay, but the other segment, which is relevant to this episode,
That's heard of it. And this is something we all say like yesterday. We're like, hey, we should talk about this topic. Usually spurred on by someone's life. In this case, it was Jeff.
This Jeff.
Little Jeff.
Little Jeff. What do we talk about? Let's go right into the heard of it segment right now.
All right. So basically, this stemmed from something that I got pissed off about the other day. I was actually talking to Big Jeff here, and I was talking about this new camera that just came out and was kind of geeking out over it.
that's Little Jeff's new thing. He switches hobbies about every 6 months.
That's not his
and
new
gets
thing.
Really down into him. Yeah.
That's true.
It's the most recent one, right?
That's his most recent hobby. But that's not, his new thing is not that he likes hobbies.
Oh, no.
No, that's
his
been
new
his
hobby.
thing.
Oh yeah, I always do that.
That's been his thing.
for like ever.
Yeah, that's been his thing.
I just switch. But
So
anyways,
photography now.
so I was telling Jeff about this awesome camera because he's also a little bit into photography. He does stuff with video editing, and so he can enjoy the technical sides of things.
I like to do the other end of it, though.
Sure.
You know, I edit the stuff.
Right,
I
yeah.
have people to take the pictures.
Okay, fine. I get it. I'm just people to you. So I was looking at this camera and I told him about it and told him to look it up. And he comes and tells me that it has 5 stars in Best Buy. I was like, okay.
4.5.
4.5 stars on
with
Best Buy.
80 ratings,
And I'm like, okay, this camera hasn't actually come out yet.
which
Yeah.
is confusing.
Yeah.
Because 80-something people
Have already
Say-
rated this camera.
So that's 4.5
So that
stars.
brings us to our segment, heard of it, topic, online ratings
And reviews.
and reviews.
which are different.
right.
Yeah. Okay, so it had 4.5 stars.
So that stems from
Hasn't
the
come out
problem.
Yeah,
First
so
up,
are they real?
I have no idea. I don't know if it was something that showed up incorrectly or people are just stoked for this camera to come out because it's really technologically a breakthrough as far as what can be done with a camera.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I could see why people will start rating it, but that's one of the bigger problems with things is people will start reviewing them before they've actually had a time to utilize whatever they're
So
reviewing.
do you think it's a bunch of people who haven't had it yet and they're just saying this is going to be good?
Yeah.
I assume, but yeah, it's
Or is it the case that they sent it out to a bunch of people and say, check it out?
It's possible. But even then, that's another issue with reviews, is that when someone is given something and they haven't purchased it, you're already getting this light of a positivity because you're given it to, so you're not like spending your own money. It's not already a bias of,
Yeah.
oh, I got to try this thing for free. Cool.
If I have a product and I'm underwhelmed with it, and I spent a ton of money
Yes.
on it, that evokes a different emotion.
Right.
That I'm underwhelmed with it, but I got a good deal, so that's okay. Yeah.
And those professional reviewers, I feel like they always say, oh, just give me your unbiased review. Here's my unbiased review. But
Right.
they know deep down if they trash everything they're given, no one's going to send them anything.
They trash everything.
Yeah. Right.
But
So-
I've seen a couple online review videos where they just eviscerate the product.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
it depends.
They probably need a sacrificial lamb once in a while, to maintain credibility.
Yeah.
But it's like 1 out
Right.
of 30.
Yeah.
yeah, they just want free stuff, so they keep.
It's like, fuck this product in particular.
Well, this person gives 5 stars, so we might as well keep sending them the product.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so there's that side of it where these people will keep giving good reviews because of that. But there's also, it just automatically puts it in more of a positive view than if you were to purchase a thing and it wasn't as good as you were expecting,
Yeah.
which is problematic.
I caught myself doing this where I don't buy shit unless it's got good reviews.
Yeah. And
too.
It's a big problem because.
And if it has no reviews, that's bad to me.
right.
Right? When I see it on Amazon, it has no reviews, or it's not Prime. I don't do that
Yeah.
either. All my stuff's Prime.
Yeah,
No
pretty much
matter.
that's
I
right.
don't care if it's
I'm gonna
5
do something on
stars. Doesn't matter.
Amazon.
This is a really great product, but I have to pay $8 for shipping.
No.
Fuck that.
No. And the weirdest thing for me is I noticed that I'm looking for a product. It has like 4.8 reviews. I'm like 5 star, 5 star, 5 star. I read the 1 star review, which is like 1 out of 200 5-star
Right.
reviews. And I'm like, I don't know. Sounds kind of bad.
What if that's me?
Yeah, the one star
Right.
review, I hold that in such higher regard than all these.
I think it's weird. It's something to do with you know that there can't be everything perfect about this product. So you immediately latch onto the thing that's negative. It's just like, I think it's human psychology of like, okay, all these people are saying the exact same thing about this product. Why is this one different?
Yeah.
And so you find that one thing that someone's actually saying something bad about this.
Yeah.
And I think it's a little problematic when you find something that's 1 star and it's just really, really bad. Like they're just totally trashing the product. That's the opposite.
It doesn't
side.
seem objective.
It doesn't seem objective, but it also doesn't even seem true half the time.
Right.
Usually
like
it's
they're
the problem,
pissed about something else.
Right.
Usually it's a problem with those people.
Yeah, eBay ran
Right.
into something like this where reviews were mixing up seller reviews with product reviews. They
Right.
would get
Oh, yeah.
something
Big difference.
from a seller and they would like review the
The experience.
right.
So like
They would
got
like
bad
give
shipping.
they would give the product like 2 stars because it took forever to get there and like the box was dented or something.
Right.
Like this was a bad
Right.
experience.
It must be the product. The product's terrible because the box was.
Well,
dented.
they're rating the whole process.
right, which they need to be separated.
Right.
Yeah,
I think the 5-star system is kind of messed up too.
Well, it did.
yeah.
Everything is now 5 stars.
Right.
Even if it's like, oh, it got here, it's 5 stars.
Yeah, I think there's 2 factors to that. There's the Uberizing
Yes.
of stars where
You
it's,
have
it's
to get-
almost people I think know for the most part that if you give an Uber driver 4 stars, that's like you could really hurt them.
That's like a
lot.
nail
They
in the
have,
coffin
They have
for
to
their
maintain.
career.
They kill him.
I think they do.
Yeah.
Or
If
they,
you get
at least
under-
they get in line for the Lion program.
Yeah.
Where the
Uber Lions.
Yeah, so the actual statistic on that is that if you don't maintain a 4.6 or above
Right.
rating
Which
on
is-
Uber,
which
you
is
will
a-
get fired.
that's a
No, you'll not will get fired. You can be
Get fired.
like-
Okay,
but that's a 92% approval rating.
right.
Yeah. And the argument
Which
is
no
like
one
we
can-
want everyone to go above and beyond. We want every ride to be a 5-star ride,
Right.
which is like, yeah, makes
But,
sense.
Sure.
but how that manifests is that 5 stars becomes your
Yeah.
starting point.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And you're removing stars for
No, now it's
Bad
either-
experiences.
It's always 5 stars or 1 star now. It's never.
Yeah.
No one ever gets a 3-star. Like it was okay. It's either it was okay 5-star or it sucked
or is
1
it
star.
or is it more like a 3 to 5 thing because 3 is known to be seriously negative because you're kind of starting at 5.
I'm just saying like most people I know, it's either
1 or 5.
either it was fine 5 stars or it was bad
So
1 star.
It's like the Rotten Tomatoes. The way that they calculate how good a movie is all binary. It's 1 or 0 essentially.
that's-
It's
yeah,
like,
it's
it's
fresh
good
or
or
rotten.
bad.
Yeah.
yeah. And so you're saying that's happening with all the reviews.
that's almost I would say so. Yeah.
Sure.
I mean I've never.
I think there's 2 lines of thinking. It's that, and basically what Jeff was saying is that you start at the top,
Yeah, do you earn stars or do you lose stars?
right? And I
Do you
think
start at 3 and you earn those extra 2?
it makes more sense that you would have like a baseline,
Yeah,
But
but if
it's
5
weird that
stars is just the standard and that's
Right.
good, what's exceptional?
right?
How do you say like this guy was great?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, every cup holder had Voss water. Like, how do I mark that in there?
Yep, it's super problematic. And I think that doesn't even cover the topic of I think this is a weird thing of why we trust internet reviews is if you were to go up to somebody on the street and they're telling you about a thing, most of the time you're not going to relate to this person. You don't relate to most people that are in the world. And all of a sudden you're trusting somebody you've never talked to that's writing out this review that might not be like-minded.
Might
Yeah,
not be
you're gonna
real.
it might not even be real. Yet, and even if it is real, you still have no idea that you're going to have the same opinion as these people.
Yeah, I think
so. But you're basing your entire purchasing decisions on it. If you like go somewhere to go just try a restaurant, you're not going to go try a restaurant that has like 3 stars.
I think we're sensitive to agendas since we've come out of like the heyday of advertising, especially our generation. We're really sensitive to like this guy has an angle.
Yeah.
And there's less of an angle from the average citizen reviewing a product. You know, they don't really have a vested interest in it as much
Right.
as, you know, seeing a review on TV. Like you frame that really quickly, like, oh, this is a biased thing.
It's
and
an
then
ad, right?
Even now,
peel
that's
back some layers.
That's become less the case now that
Right.
there's all these professional reviewers, and a lot of times most reviews on like Amazon are from paid or people who got
Yeah,
the
they're
product
really
for free.
open about it. There's an entire marketplace on Freelancer and Fiverr. It's like a huge part of the economy on those 2 websites to just pay for reviews. And they're really transparent about
That's
it.
so messed up.
But apparently, a lot of the websites that aggregate reviews, like the Yelps,
Okay, yeah.
they're getting AI that's like good enough to find fake reviews 90%
Sure.
of the time. But people can only find them 50% of the time, which I thought was interesting.
I've seen websites like that too, where you can like,
Yeah.
it'll scan all the
Fake
Amazon
Spot?
one. Yeah,
There's
and
one called
there's
Fake
another one too. Yeah. But it scans them all and like looks for similarities because a lot of times they, you know, if they're scripting,
formulaic.
if they're scripting hundreds of things, yeah, they just use a script or whatever.
It's like, it's almost, what are those? It's like that, when you're going on a road trip, you get the little fucking book, and it's like, I need a noun, I need a verb.
Oh,
and then
Mad Libs.
Like, Mad Libs. It's like it's almost like a Mad Lib where it's like insert product here.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Insert beneficial adjective from this set here. You know. And
But now they're even
plug
getting,
it all in.
They're even getting better than now, though. They're like learning. Oh, this is how they determine that ours are fake, and now they're overcoming those limitations as well.
Yeah.
The people who are doing the fake reviews.
It's like anything else online. It quickly becomes an arms race, right? Mm-hmm. Captchas or anything else, you see that. So
I think another problem is subjective things, like music, food, restaurants. Like just because maybe something didn't align with your tastes, you're trying to give an objective opinion on it when maybe that was a really good dish of that thing and it's just not for you.
Like I like sweet and savory, but maybe someone's not into that, and they're judging their entire experience based on the one meal they had at a restaurant that serves 50 different dishes.
Did you see Netflix is switching to thumbs up, thumbs
They
down?
did. I think they did already.
Yeah, instead of the stars.
it's good.
Something they kept running into was called critique syndrome, where people would review they would use it like perception to frame their reviews. They would look at a movie, and even though they didn't like it, if it was like the production was good enough and they knew that the public perception of this was like, this is a good movie,
If it said 5 stars,
they would be more willing to agree with that. You know?
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's the same thing that's happening with Rotten Tomatoes is a lot of these critics.
It becomes an amplification of conventional wisdom
Right.
versus like it's actually your opinion.
It's like, oh, well, this is a big budget movie. There's some stars in it. Okay, this has got to be a good movie. So I'm going to give it at least a thumbs up for that.
Even though I hated it.
Right. It's like the story might have sucked. Everything about the plot, the characters, the acting wasn't actually that good. But as long as it has a couple of the key things, it's at least a thumbs up.
Yeah.
It
then
hits that threshold.
There's reviewers now who go just against the grain on purpose, though. Like
They're
I
trying
seem
to
like,
stand out.
yeah. Like a really good movie comes out, and they're like, "Oh, I'm just a small blog, and this is a way for people like looking through, like, who gave this a bad review?" And then they click on their blog, and this is getting clicks to their blog. Everyone just wants to get their.
That is kind of who I read. If I'm scrolling through Rotten Tomatoes and everyone's giving it like fresh, and this guy says it's rotten, I'm like, I wonder what he didn't like about that.
Yeah.
I'll actually read that one.
That's what you were saying earlier with the negative comments. It's like that's the one that you fixate on because it's different all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It's just finding that one thing that's a little bit different is enough to set you off.
Even though the consensus is, but then I don't know, the whole consensus thing has pitfalls as well, because if everyone, like you said, if you're under the impression that this should be a good thing, then you're being like, okay, this was
critique syndrome.
Yeah, this was good. If I didn't like it, there must be something wrong with me. I'll just say it was good, even though it wasn't.
Right.
Yeah.
So the ratings are curved with Uber and Fandango and that sort of thing. And then there's like populist thought with the critique syndrome. I think another thing they miss is context is a third problem, where you could go to a hostel and have a 5-star experience, right? Because you're rating it on the curve of like, for a hostel, this had good amenities.
good, sure.
You know,
Right.
like this shitty mattress was better than I expected.
Sure.
5-star hostel, right?
yeah.
But then you go to a 5-star resort, and if you had the exact same amenities, you'd be like, this is garbage.
Right,
1
right.
star, you know?
Yeah, I
But
paid a lot more money
both
for
of
those
those
too,
places
probably.
can have 5 stars, but not necessarily
Right.
be equivalent experiences.
Yeah, at that point, it becomes down more to the value. It's the value proposition is
Right.
like,
But that context isn't really built into the rating system.
right.
you're totally
You say
right.
this is a 5-star place, and this is a 5-star place.
Sure.
But if
they're
it was like
yeah.
I'm not saying this is like a solution, but if it was like a broader star, like 100 stars or whatever, and of
Yeah.
course, like, you know, the Ritzes are going to be like, this was 90 stars, and the hostel could be like 20 stars, but then you could read that and say like,
But then that wouldn't work.
20
because
stars is pretty good for a hostel.
No, people would
You know?
think 20
I know,
stars is
that's what I'm
bad.
saying. I'm not advocating as a solution, but
Yeah, people would think 20 out of 100 is bad, no matter what you do.
but they really are on completely different scales.
I agree, they are. Like, if you say 5-star hostel and 5-star hotel, they're going to be a different experience, probably.
It's like, oh, that's a quirky, cool hostel
But you
for
can't-
$40. Oh, and that's a great value. Then you pay $40 for a hotel or $100 for a hotel, and it's the same value or
So
same.
then, in a sea of stars, you have to read the reviews
right
to differentiate.
Yeah, so that's
and then we don't know if those are
Real.
or not.
Yeah,
Did we read any on the Sony camera?
I don't think I
just looked
ended
at
up
the
reading
stars.
it. No, it was more just the how is this getting reviewed ahead of time?
Yeah,
I've
when
seen stuff
does
like
it
that a
come
lot.
out?
I've seen stuff happen like that a lot.
Yeah.
And people even say, this hasn't come out yet. It looks really great. I'm excited for it.
5-star.
Yeah, 5 stars.
Something that really sucks is when there's a new product that comes out and somebody does get one of those bad experiences with the shipper or whoever's handling the actual purchasing of the product, not the product itself. You'll go on Amazon, you'll see like, okay, this product that I'm kind of interested in has like 4 reviews and 2 of them are bad just based on the stars.
Right.
But the actual review is like, hey, this didn't work out. The shipper didn't get it to me on time.
Right, but that doesn't necessarily
Right.
reflect the quality
And all of a
or
sudden,
the outcome.
the person that came up with this product that might be a really cool product and work really well just got
Yeah.
everything that they worked towards got canned because of that one person. That
You guys remember
that shipping didn't work out.
election night when like Clinton was way ahead at like 7 p.m. because they only
Yep.
had like a small percentage of the votes.
Yeah.
And then once you got the larger sample size, it was like, oh, this is changing a lot.
Yeah. Oh, what's happening?
Yeah.
And the rest is history.
It will be in a lot of history.
Yeah.
This is going to be a
Yeah.
noteworthy time. Yeah. Not to derail.
This will be
but-
studied for a long time.
I know what you mean. Like I've seen the 1 stars on like an Amazon product I'm looking at. It's like 1 star. I'm like, what the heck, 1 star? Because everyone else has been highly reviewed.
And but
Probably
they
5
also
stars.
might, like, feature loss is another thing to consider, like a fourth layer here. They might be fixating on a certain thing. Like, I don't know, in like photography, if this person cares a lot about maybe a phone's a better example. Like if someone takes pictures with their phone quite a bit, and a certain phone had a bad camera, but it excelled everywhere else.
Right.
They may give it like a 2-star rating
Sure.
because it had a bad camera and that's what they care about.
Yeah.
But they're rating the whole phone,
Right.
for that. Right?
Yeah, it's really weird when there's a ton of features.
Yeah.
And you just, it's inside of your own lens of the thing you care
Yeah.
about.
Well, I love the people who say like they say, oh, this I thought this would do this, but it doesn't. 1 star, even though they didn't research if it can do
Right.
it beforehand, right?
Yeah, did it say
Yeah,
it would do that?
It never said it. It never said it can
That
do
was
it.
your
They're,
fault.
they're the one who deserves 1 star at that point.
Stars.
So one thing that I'm curious what your guys' opinion on is when you get meta 1 layer and you have ratings of the ratings, right? Like Amazon has this, you can mark reviews as helpful or not.
Oh,
helpful,
yeah.
Yeah,
right.
true.
So do you think that because it could go either way, right? On one hand, you can say, oh, well, that kind of is like the police force. Now everyone's opinion isn't equal anymore. You've got these stupid people that are hopefully, being voted down by the masses, treated like the idiot pariahs that they are. But on the other hand, too, that can just kind of swing the problem. It can amplify it. This court of public opinion is now, the guy who said the most popular sentiment is now
Yeah.
also being
It's now fact.
Or if they do it in a funny way, which happens all the
Sure.
time on Amazon.
Yeah.
Yes.
People have joke reviews.
Yeah.
That's the most helpful one. No, what I tend to do is I look for the extremes. I take a few of the 5-star reviews, a few of the 1-star reviews, and then I just grab a couple in between.
Yeah.
And I try to get like a holistic picture of like what to expect from the product. And if you start seeing the same negative feature being talked about a lot, then you have
Right.
But
Pattern
that's a shit ton of
recognition
work
starts to kick
too.
in. Yeah.
That's most people I know aren't. I only do it because I'm obsessive about things. Like most people I know are not going to put in that effort when it comes to buying a $5 widget on Amazon. You know.
Yeah, I don't.
So.
There's definitely a cutoff for me in price to when I actually give a shit about the
Really?
ratings. Yeah.
No, I'm like, I
Well, okay.
I spend
no,
way too long.
No. The
researching
amount
shit.
of work I put into it, there's still that baseline of I'm not going to get something that, again, is not prime and is not well reviewed.
Yes.
I won't even look at it.
Yeah.
But beyond, if it's over like, it's not high, it's like $30, then I'll look into it a little bit more.
I don't know. I still am like, oh, there's like 5 of these that they're all around $8. Like, which one's the best? And I spend way too long thinking about it. When I could probably order any of them and be completely
They're all the
happy.
same. Yeah.
It's like they just having the availability of reviews and people's feedback. I like watch YouTube videos. It's like, which one's the best? And they compare them all and shit. And you're like, why am I doing this?
It's really easy to get obsessive over it.
It is.
And I've definitely been that person, and I'm trying to be less that way. And that I think it is more important what Jake was saying is that you look a little bit at it, but then you understand what the actual product is, and you hope that it does the things that it says it does. So if you do your research properly, it makes a lot more sense to go, okay, this is what it does.
Yeah,
If it doesn't do
if
it,
you stay grounded and try and contextualize their complaint and like project onto it, like, is this a reasonable thing to object about?
Sure.
You have to do that process.
But I'm not even saying necessarily even looking at the reviews at this point. I'm saying this product exists. It has a description. You read the description, and does it solve your problem or does it not solve your problem?
Yeah.
And that's how things used to be. We're only now in an era where we get to see all these weird ratings of things. Like,
Which is, I almost like hate all people who even do. Have you guys ever reviewed a product?
I review products.
I went through
Really?
a phase where I felt like I've benefited from the system a lot. I should put into it, and I reviewed like 15 things, and then I was like, God, I'm sick of this. And I stopped doing it.
Yeah. We remember we followed that girl on Yelp who had the
Oh, yeah.
hilarious
Yeah.
restaurant
Oh, yeah.
reviews.
Yeah.
I just think like that type of person who thinks their opinion matters and
Yeah.
is that has that thought reinforced
Sure.
by social media and all these review sites. That's an opinion I want less of.
That's
Right.
a problem.
You know?
It enables those people too.
Right.
They feel like they own these companies now, and these companies they can get damaged. It's a small little company. Let's say it's
Sure.
a small little restaurant. They only have like 5 reviews. And then someone goes in there and doesn't like. Remember, was it me and you, Jake? We were looking at the one who gave it a 1-star because they would.
Yes. Yeah, the Henry's Charbroiler is a restaurant, right? Yeah.
She wouldn't honor. They had like the first time you went in there, if you checked in on Yelp, they'd give you like a discount.
It was free fries.
Free fries, okay. And
you
then
checked in.
they gave it a 1-star review because the second time they went in there, they wouldn't let them like check in and get the free fries again.
That's actually not what happened. It was even worse than that. You've probably, to preserve your sanity, like sugarcoated this a little bit. The depth of depravity that this person sunk to. They left the place a 1-star review because after like doing this multiple times, they'd gone in and gotten the free fries. They did a bunch of times. The last time they did it, they said they got a dirty look. The place still fucking honored it. The place still gave them free fries.
And they gave him 1-star, and there's a long 1-star review too.
Yeah, they were fucking pissed.
This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The people who think their opinion matters enough to interject on this. It's not an opinion I
don't want to. No,
That opinion is firmly invalid. That person should be killed at that point. I mean, that's like that's irredeemable. I'm glad you brought that review up. I remember that one.
I just remember we read that and we're like, are you kidding me?
I remember getting like so enraged I was erect over that review. It was insane.
Did it make you want to post a 5-star review?
It made me want to,
because I would want to combat her.
No, the person is the problem.
You didn't feel sorry for the establishment.
No.
I did.
I mean, a little, because I like that.
I go back
I like that
those
place.
people, and then they have to go on there and be like, they always have to have this long, structured like. Everyone assumes the restaurant's guilty based on like nothing,
true,
right?
yeah.
And then they just go in there and be like,
You are guilty until proven
Here's what we did. Here's what happened. And then some people still don't believe it. And they're like, oh no, they must be a bad.
I've seen that a few times.
Although in
I
all
love when they get
fairness,
called out.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is going to read that review and be like, the restaurant's in the wrong here?
But no
Like,
one. But
very few people.
They don't
But
read
yeah,
the
they don't
review
read
a lot
the
of
review. They
times.
just see the star.
Yeah, if someone's complaint has the words "they gave me a dirty look," it's like fuck you. No, they didn't.
Yeah.
Or if they did, you
it could
deserved
be.
it. All right.
It could be. It could.
There's no restaurant owner out there who's just like overtly aggressive to their customers.
Yeah.
They're not just like scowling like you're wasting their time.
Unless you're
know.
on Kitchen
You're
Nightmares.
earning it.
Wasn't that the show that with Gordon Ramsay?
Yeah.
That was the case, that a lot of those restaurants were actually just terrible people.
Yeah, most of the time.
yeah,
on
most-
that show,
yeah,
it's a
sorry.
problem at the
I went to a place and I couldn't understand the guy's broken English, and I asked him to repeat himself once, and he yelled at me. So that's like
Well,
a
he
little
probably
bit.
gets it all day.
Well, that's not my fucking problem. Though.
You're right.
You see, and
least
that's,
it-
that's
But if he's
not-
running a restaurant,
You're trying to do business in America with people who only speak English. This is a problem.
yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
at least
fix this problem.
at least he didn't sell you absinthe liqueur and say it was absinthe.
Oh, don't even get me started on that motherfucker. That's the only review I left on Google ever for a store, was for a junior market down the street from me. And I had to leave them a 1-star because they fucked me. They fucked me right in the ass.
Like
they,
Derby?
They jerbied me bad. They sold me Pernod liqueur, and I said, "Do you have absinthe?" And they said yes, and handed me a bottle of Pernod liqueur, and I didn't see that it was Pernod liqueur.
because Pernod makes absinthe.
They also make absinthe, and the bottles are almost identical,
Yeah.
except the liqueur is worth half as much as the absinthe.
so did they mean to do
He
that?
set you up.
Or
I don't know
did
if-
he just
I
hand you the
fucked
wrong
me.
bottle?
I don't
No,
know
I
if he
think the
meant
guy
to.
was just fucking stupid, but the price was set at $70.
Yeah, I don't think people know about absinthe.
They only had
Sure.
only had one thing, so it's not like whoever set the price did it wrong. You know, it's not like
Got
the
it,
guy just
got it.
handed me the
Yeah,
wrong
they
thing.
misordered it.
But they were shitty. You know, they shouldn't have been allowed to exist after that.
That's-
in my
well,
opinion.
I think
You know?
your review was
That's a-
reasonable, but
that's
that
a critical
conclusion
mistake.
was not
No,
reasonable.
that's not really my actual. My conclusion is I'm not going to go there again.
That's
'Cause
totally fair.
The other thing is, two people were like, return it, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go to a fucking junior market and try to return a bottle of liquor.
Right.
Like, what kind of fucking animal does that?
I don't even know if they allow that to happen.
Yeah,
Probably
they
not.
probably won't.
That's
take it.
more negativity in my life than getting the wrong bottle.
Yeah, I'm like, it's-
adding to my own punishment.
Right.
It's worth getting fucked out of $30 objectively.
I would pay $30 to not have to go through the experience of returning the bottle
I don't
and
want to
doing
talk
that
to the guy
interaction
again.
Exactly.
Why would you want to interact with someone who makes that kind of egregious error? You know?
And there's a silver lining. Now you use that in your absinthe-based drink, mixed drinks.
Yes. So I bought actual absinthe, and then I use the liqueur when I want absinthe flavor, but I don't want to use the good stuff. So I add it to
What
the,
a wholesome
the
story.
mixed drinks. Yeah.
You should do. I don't know
circle.
if it's strong enough to do this, but a lot of time, you know how adding smoke flavor to drinks has been kind of popular now, especially in like the hipster scene.
Jake doesn't.
They'll
does
like
it.
they have the cedar plank or whatever, and they'll char it and put
Yep.
the glass upside down on it.
Jake
and
does
put
that.
smoke in there.
He does that.
Okay.
Yeah, I bought some Applewood sticks. for doing
Yeah.
that.
What
for
you can
hamsters.
do that is, I think it works a little bit better, and it's a lot less work. Maybe you like the ritualizing of your drink making process, but there's a Scotch called Peat Monster that is like the double IPA of Elay whiskeys, where it's just so intensely peat mossy and smoky that some bars are putting it in just spray bottles and just giving the glass a spritz.
They're atomizing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've seen people, they'll buy little like perfume bottles.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's a good way to do it. It saves you so much money too
Because just that alone adds enough smoke flavor that you don't need to go through all that other stuff.
The other way, the old way of doing that on a drink too, was to rinse the glass and then you just pour out the liquor, which is very wasteful.
Yeah.
So spraying.
Well, what if you just had a basin of it and then you just pour it
Oh
back
yeah,
in?
you could just but then you're kind of.
It's health regulations.
It's a little.
Oh yeah, we have those
it's
rules
a little
now.
icky.
Yeah, you can't spray perfume
What if
inside
you
of your
ladled
drinks.
it in and
Of
then poured
all
it
the
out?
various things that I would be kind of okay with being tainted, I think whiskey.
Yeah.
Like there's not.
Yeah, what
that
kind of
much that
shit do you have to put in there for it to be contaminated? Like, doesn't it clean itself?
kind of disinfected?
As
right?
long as they had a Prop 65 label, I'd be okay with it.
Then you would
Yes.
know.
If they didn't have one,
Then
I
you would have
wouldn't
some
know.
concrete information that clearly defines your risk.
Yeah,
so that
if
you
they're
have an
if they're
objective choice.
scooping the whiskey out of the Bubba tub, that's where I draw the line.
I don't want that.
I don't want it coming out of the Bubba tub.
Yeah, people come in the bubble tub.
Yes,
It's not bubble tub.
It's
It is when I'm in there. That bitch gets frothy. It's like one of those foam raves. Have you seen those?
Foam party.
We were talking about
we
foam
were talking
party.
about foam parties.
Call back, not to the show.
Yeah, wait a second. I
To
don't
Cole
remember
and
this
my
We
conversation.
were talking about foam parties in my club that I own.
That's actually kind of relevant to reviews, right?
Yeah.
People review your club very highly.
Yeah, we have 1,000 followers based on nothing.
Yeah, based on having the same name as some other like club in
Some actual club.
That's
South
totally relevant
America,
to this discussion.
presumably?
It's just more made up nonsense on the internet.
There are all
we don't
these
we don't
people
pretend to be them.
asking in Spanish.
When is the foam party?
When is the foam party?
And I've never been to a foam party, but it sounds pretty awesome.
Does sound pretty fun.
I imagine it's just foam.
It sounds like your
everywhere.
eyes just burn all night.
It's probably like the
It's
you wear
Johnson
shampoo,
Johnson?
no tears.
Yeah.
It's-
you wear
it sounds-
goggles, a Speedo, and nothing else.
It sounds like hell for my loafers. I don't know.
You get weird
No, you
about
don't
going
wear
into
those.
like a nice bar with your loafers on.
Well, if
He
people are
checks
gonna-
the weather, and if
You know
the
what the-
humidity's over 90%, he has to
thi-
switch shoes.
I think we've overblown how weird I am about having my feet stepped
I don't think
on.
we have overblown it at all.
It's not just the damage to the shoes. It's the fact that loafers are thin and it hurts when your toes get stomped on. And it's the fact that people should respect each other's personal space. If you're such a clomping retard that you can't fucking give someone 2 feet, like
It's not-
what is wrong
You're in a
with you?
crowded bar.
Yeah.
They
Accidents
do not need to
happen.
be shoulder to shoulder with me.
They need to.
Sometimes you have
they
to be.
physically need to be.
if you
when
want
they-
a drink, you're going to be
When
in
they
that
need to
space.
be, they can't. But the other thing is, I'm very careful not to step on feet.
You should get the fuck
I'm
out of the
very
way,
good about
maybe.
it.
Jake.
This is your problem.
Have you ever
It's
sat?
my space.
Have you ever sat in traffic and then realized you are traffic?
Yes,
It's the
I have.
same damn thing.
Yeah.
It's
You're
not,
there
though,
trying to get
because
the drink just
there's
like
a
they
way, There's a way to be conscientious about where you're placing your feet and your shoulders and everything else about you.
Yeah.
You don't. If you're to the point where you are crammed in shoulder to shoulder by design, that's like a fucking fire hazard. The fire marshal
Sure.
will come in and start thinning the herd with their fireman's axe, which is what I assume
know what?
happens if you get over capacity.
What bars need is that a lot of breweries have this. They have the order here sign. And everyone knows where the fuck to go, so you don't just like crowd up to the bar like you're
I
at a
like
concert.
that though. That gives them like a vibe that's more crowded than it
Yeah,
is.
well, everyone sitting at the bar with loafers hates it.
Yes. Well, the other thing is, though,
Jake.
this isn't the scenario
guy.
we're describing is not necessarily just when you go up to the bar. These are places where everyone's just kind of milling about all over the fucking place inside, and there's nowhere you can place yourself where someone isn't going to stumble into your bubble and then step on you and then stumble out of your life forever.
Yeah.
And it's like that is the entirety of my impression of that person. How can you not hate someone who does that?
We need to weld a rigid hula hoop to your belt, and you'll just have this bubble like a little cattle guard on a train.
Like one of those cages that used to go under dresses.
yeah, exactly.
I could just wear one of those.
Just that. Yeah, like you look like a little tomato plant.
I could electrify it.
Just wear the dress.
You always got to take it one step further.
I mean, it'd be great though if anytime someone came near me, they just got shocked.
you could
severely.
add blades like those hubcaps in the old race movies.
just put
Yes.
razor
Mad Max.
coil
They
on
pop
it,
out.
like I'm protecting a fucking junkyard. You
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
Well, so you have some options.
Yeah. I think my technique is to just select where I place
Your
myself.
technique usually is to go like post up in a corner.
Yes.
That's a sound strategy.
Well, I remember one time you almost
take to the high
you
ground.
almost got kicked out because you were sleeping in the bar.
Well, I didn't get kicked out.
She said you can't sleep here.
They threatened to kick me out, and I was like, I agree, I can't sleep here.
Oh, I was
People
there for
keep
that
bothering me.
and then I kind of started to doze off again, so I left. They didn't have to kick me out. I wasn't like that belligerent homeless man that came into the bar the other day.
Oh, that was terrible.
Who's like, can I open my bottle in here? And they're like, no, get out. And I didn't like him because he smelled bad. He needed to not smell that
Well,
bad.
he had a backpack and he said, "What's the corking fee in here?" And they're like, "We're in a bar."
in the
and they're
fucking
like,
horrible dive bar we were in.
yeah, and you're like, "You can't bring a bottle in here." He's like, "I already did. It's in my backpack." And then the guy's like, "Well, you can't drink it in here." And he's like,
I have to.
"Yeah, I forget what he said." It was,
No, he said,
illegal outside.
the bartender said you have to take it outside, and he's like, I can't. It's zipped up. Like that's the. There were some logical gaps there,
yeah, I wasn't quite on like.
but he just kind of stumbled on about
He
his
did.
day. He left.
Kind of
I
did
had a
his thing.
great homeless interaction the other day. We're at LTH in Oceanside, and which is a really classy place. It actually is, but across the street, there's
It's
that
not.
car audio place that has the robotic mannequin that swirls the
I
sign.
love that. I love
Oh.
those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he got kicked out of LTH, went across, and had a 7-minute conversation with her.
Wow.
He was doing his best. She's hot from 30 feet away, you know?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's fooled many people
And
when
his
we've been
level
there.
of inebriation, she was probably so hot up
Yeah.
close.
She was probably coming on to
She
him.
was, well,
at
she
his
was
level of
really attentive.
inebriation.
No one else at the restaurant wanted to listen to him.
She was dancing for him even.
but she seemed open to it. Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't say no. Can a robot consent?
We already talked
Helen
about this.
Alloy.
Helen Alloy.
Could,
She could and she did.
but only to
Also-
Dave.
But also wanted to age.
But then the other guy.
No, Dave wanted her to age.
No, I think she wanted.
I don't
she
think
wanted to
anyone
age.
cared what
She was
she
saying,
wanted.
"I want to grow old with my husband."
Yeah, she did. Yeah. Yeah.
And Dave's
I
like,
don't know.
please
Fucking
don't.
weird robot.
He's like, why? That's
Yeah.
why I married a robot.
Yeah.
This is so weird.
Literally the point.
Because then you don't have to tan and steam the titties, right?
Yep. Yep. You don't have to empty the vacuum bag yourself anymore.
Oh, God.
So online reviews.
Okay, so yeah, there's we have critique
Yeah.
syndrome. There's no context.
I think the 5-star system is done. It's out of the. I think
it's still a useful starting point.
We just need
Right?
to
It's
it's not
fix it.
because now
Okay,
it's,
so what do
it's
you do?
5 or
There's,
1.
There's all those. It is binary, but
5
that
or
at
1
least
now.
it tells you more than nothing.
So why just have it? Is it good or not?
That's what it should be. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 5 stars review
It
is
should
out.
be like
It's what
an
we
upvote-
have.
Yeah, just to democratize it further. Right?
So
Yeah.
if we actually want to talk about improvements,
Yeah.
one thing we did.
How do we fix it?
I was at a data company and they got meta about stuff. Right, these are people that like data, which is a weird crowd, and I'm in that crowd, and it's weird.
It's weird.
You start doing weird shit all the time.
They're probably all about medians instead of averages.
Yeah. Well, fuck They-
averages.
You know what's fun is data people fucking hate pie charts. Hate them
Why?
because they don't ever give you more information than a histogram would.
Yeah.
But it's a lot
That's
easier
true.
to digest.
It's the worst.
It's not. It's harder to digest. It's harder to say, how much smaller is this pie than that pie than it is to look at 2 bars and see
Yeah.
what the distance is.
We're
Like
not-
psychologically, people like them because they're cute.
I
Not
feel
only-
like you are subject to optical illusions a lot more with bars than pies. I think it's clearer to show a ratio than a comparison.
And the bargrams, histograms, they always fuck up the axes too. It's always like 1, like right.
Yeah,
It's
the
like,
scale is odd. Yeah.
The people advocating using a histogram instead of a bar chart, or a histogram instead of a pie chart, are not the people who are saying that it's okay to fuck up the axes either.
Yes, yes, I know.
they're just as mad when the axes are fucked up.
I saw one. It was
Yeah, they will
ridiculous.
scoff and try to spit out the next sentence as they process that you would even imply that they would fuck up the axis.
I saw one
dare you.
comparing Intel versus the new AMD Ryzen series, and it was like frame rate, and it looked like Intel was way better, but it is, and then on the axis it was like a difference of 2 frames, right?
Yeah.
So it was like it was 2 frames less, but it looked like it was.
It started at 300.
Yeah,
right?
It went to 302. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I read a whole section on a book on how to lie with data.
Yeah.
And it's all about manipulating charts in
Sure.
order to make
Yeah.
them look
We-
like they say
so-
something different.
My company just acquired that other big company, and all of their marketing materials were a fucking joke. It was so funny. They would cherry pick these features, and then they would compare their device to the competitor's device, and do the green check or the red X. And of course, it was only the shit that they had,
Sure.
and the other
Sure.
guys did
It's
it.
a really common
so
marketing
It implied
tactic.
that like this other device, they have nothing. It's just
right.
like a lump of circuitry that doesn't function. It barely turns on. But ours does all of these things.
It's like one step above Helen Alloy.
Yeah.
What? Helen Alloy was autonomous and a life form. What do you mean? That's pretty advanced.
When she was-
she had all the
But
check
not on the
marks.
chart. Not on the chart. She had none of the check marks.
Yeah.
Does she age?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So yeah, that's fucking insane. The worst one I ever saw was slide belts. I think it was slide belts, and it was quality. And they had a bar chart with no y-axis.
Oh,
like
our
it just-
slide
it
belts.
didn't say
it's
what
it's a waist belt that doesn't have holes. It like
yeah,
pinches.
just, it ratchets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was one of those. There are a couple companies doing it, and they had quality of our belt versus competitors' belt, and they had 2 bars, but there were no numbers.
Just more. We just
was
have
just-
more,
we
got more
of the
quality.
We had more quality.
Yeah.
But
How do you-
anyway,
how do you
they didn't
quantify
know-
quality?
They don't know how to fix the axis on the histogram.
You could say like rating scales. You could out of 5 stars,
Shit,
right?
that's-
What if people rated it? Right. Back to this. But actually, so I brought this up. The data company thing. We had catered lunches, and people would rate the food that they got, right? So that because we were all ordering off the same menu, stuff would come up fairly often. And
Can we pause to appreciate just Jake in general? So here with your fucking outfit, right? With your teal shorts, and you're just owning,
are those-
owning the 1%
Are those
vibe.
parakeets on your shirt?
yes, they are.
Your little
They are.
watch,
Good eye.
your
Good
new
eye for
haircut,
birds.
Thank you.
your fucking loafers, and
I'm
then
an
you get to
ornithologist.
say sentences like, "At the data company, we would rate our catered lunches."
Yeah, you know when you get a 3-star catered lunch. I mean, who wants that?
Now,
I just love it. Okay, I'm not bashing it.
No.
You own it, and that's fine. That's great.
so my new company, we get catered lunches.
Obviously, we're not savages.
We get
What? How else would you get lunch?
we get more of them, but they're like buffet style.
you get like 3 lunches a day.
Well, they're no. We get them 3 days a week instead of 2 days a week. But
okay.
but the trade off is these ones are like buffet style, whereas at the other place
you were
got to-
so 1%, and
you
then
got
you
to
said
pick-
these ones. You fucking peasant.
you got to pick
That's your biggest pet peeve.
It's the worst.
what these ones.
These
It's redundant.
ones instead of
These
these.
and ones are both pronouns. It doesn't have like the first pronoun doesn't have a determinant after that.
Yeah,
You're saying
yeah,
like
that's
these
true.
lunches and the one
I'm
lunches.
sorry, I thought Hitler was dead.
Yeah, no, you know what? Actually, I deserve to be called out on that. I was wrong about this. So anyway, we'd rate them, and they would adjust your rating based on what your average rating was for lunches.
So if they know that you're a harsh critic,
your harsh
Interesting.
ratings are
That's
less
great.
harsh.
I like that a
So
lot.
they would reduce it.
Because that we don't have an agreed upon starting point for these stars. You earn them or lose them, right? And I think
Right.
that's a great way to begin cutting through that.
So it pushes everything towards like centricity.
Yeah.
And then it allows if you are normally very amicable and then you get a shit meal and you rate it 1 star.
Yeah.
That means a lot more.
like our friend Scott.
It's a weighting system.
Scott has only said one movie ever was bad. What movie was that?
I don't remember.
I forget. But like, if you ask our friend Scott,
so mild-mannered.
if he liked this movie, he will always say yeah, because he just kind of sees
So
the
when he
good
didn't
in
like
things.
it.
Yeah, right. So under your system, they would take that movie and based on his rating, they would just fucking tank it. Right?
Well,
This must have been horrifically shitty.
I mean,
for,
it wouldn't
for
it
Scott
wouldn't
to give it 1
It
star.
wouldn't be weighted that much, but
it
because
would
there's
be
always
weighted.
a chance.
Yeah.
That,
Maybe
but it would be
double
weighted a
weighted or
lot
something.
more
because I do that same thing subconsciously. That when Scott gives me his movie opinion, I go like, well, that's Scott.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So there's a way to quantify that.
Yeah.
And it's not really that hard to do either, especially in like today's world of big data.
Well, it always takes a while to cut through the layers of things.
Right.
The ratings, they sound good up front until you see the problems manifest. You realize these meta things are like 51% of people can be wrong. And
Yeah.
it happens often.
That can still be manipulated though, because
Everything can,
what
but we're
always-
just saying this is better.
What always ends up happening inevitably in like a large enough market is people will learn how to game it and they will game it. You got to
Right.
hope that those people are in the minority. And I
They're
think
going to
they
lean
typically
on
are.
the Hungry Hippos platform and
Yeah.
bring the balls towards them.
Yes. And they deserve those balls at that point.
That's right.
They've earned them. Thank you. They've earned those balls.
give them the balls.
Give them the balls.
It's because the other players should be leaning just as hard,
Equally
if not
as hard.
harder on the other thing. Yeah.
No, because then we all end up just fucking each
I
other.
don't believe
Until the
that's,
board breaks.
That's,
Yeah.
that's capitalism. You just described capitalism.
The bubble bursts.
Yep.
When people are on both sides are cheating and leaning, it snaps, and you have to reset. You have to
when they
pause,
lean-
tape the board back together, add some new marbles.
No, you have to regulate.
when
Prop
they
this
lean
bitch up.
when they lean too much, right? They can both lean. There's enough room for them to both lean.
to a point. That's the
Someone
bubble.
has to be getting fucked, but they can both lean to a point.
While playing Hungry Hungry Hippos?
Oh, that's what that game's about.
life, everything.
Oh, I thought you meant fucking.
Everything I ever learned.
Well, fucking is also about winning, right? So, you know.
No, I thought you meant Hungry Hungry Hippos was about fucking.
Yes. Well, it's
it's about like sexuality. You
it's
you
all
have
the
to
same thing.
outcompete everyone else.
Okay.
And
It's like the Holy
the very
Trinity,
animalistic
right?
version of
like
it.
God, Jesus, the Holy Ghost. They're all different things, but they're all the same thing. It's
depends what kind
No,
of
unless
Christian
you're
you are.
Mormon.
fucking capitalism and Hungry Hungry Hippos are all kind of the same thing.
Council of Nicaea first said that, right?
I don't know.
Is that when that happened?
Oh, I mean, that shit changes.
know.
You know, the Catholic Church has swung opinions on things like abortion. Like that opinion has evolved
well,
and
just
changed
the new guy,
over time.
right? The new
well,
guy's
no,
way more
no.
open-minded on things.
It used to be okay up to a point, and then like I don't know, I don't have any idea how long ago, but like you know, a couple hundred years ago, it was fine, right?
Well, we had nice infant mortality rates back then, and now all the kids are living.
yeah.
Got to do something about it.
Well, but it swung this way, whereas now it's less okay. It got less okay over time.
I thought they are.
They tightened up a lot.
Well,
they
when-
used
no,
to
the
be,
new-
Well,
the
when
new
babies
pope
were
is-
when babies were dying left and right, it probably wasn't that big of a deal.
yeah. I mean, it's
Yeah,
like
it's
what's one more dead baby?
Yeah.
It's another meal right there.
Little amuse-bouche.
So is that how you got your girlfriend? You say you walk up to her and you're like, hey, you
I
look like
performed an abortion on her.
No. You go up and you're like, hey,
What?
What?
I'm the hungriest hippo or something.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I made my best hippo chortle.
Yeah.
She loved that shit. She swooned.
That's how you get them.
Is that what hippos make? Do they chortle?
I came up to her in the pool.
guessing.
And just my nose and my eyes were coming up above the water.
Yeah.
And then I went,
But first, you snapped her canoe in half with your mouth, right?
yes. Yes.
And that's
how you captured her.
Surprising that's not a sexual in
No, that's not a euphemism at all. I destroyed her pool floating.
I almost spit beer everywhere. Oh, shit.
Hippos are awesome animals. Do you know they sweat their own natural sunscreen?
Oh, they kind of oil up?
It's but it's like red.
You always
colored.
wonder about that because I know elephants. The reason they always look like dirty motherfuckers and they're rolling around the dirt and they're flinging dust on themselves, it's
to
for
cool off, right?
Sun protect. No.
Oh, it's sun protection.
Well, does
'cause-
one lead to the next?
Well,
If you're
pigs,
protecting
pigs
from
do it to
sun,
cool off, and I think I was thinking of pigs.
How does that
mostly.
let you cool off? Like if we're covered in dirt, we can't
Well,
sweat,
mud.
and we
They use
can't-
mud.
Oh,
Cool
it's-
mud, and they.
But once it dries, you're sealed in. It's like you've heard of that with body paint. Like people have died because they
That's-
can't regulate their body temperature.
That's not because of that. It's because your cells get your oxygen through there.
Oh,
No,
it was a
that's a
suffocation?
myth.
I thought it was.
That's a myth.
I thought it was temperature.
Skin suffocation is a myth. Yeah,
Is it?
They used to be really worried about it. Like, there's a famous behind the scenes photo. I think it was from Golden Eye or the man with the golden. No, the man with the golden gun.
Yeah, there's one
of
of
the
them where
old
she-
yeah,
gold.
they had golden
Gold
paint.
member.
They
Gold
painted
member.
her. They
Gold.
No, gold
finger.
member.
Gold finger. Gold finger.
Yeah,
Yeah,
gold member was the
gold
Austin
member was
Powers one.
Austin Powers.
But they painted a girl gold for like this. I don't know. She
Yeah,
got encased
she
in
was, like,
gold,
passing out
and
or
they left her stomach open because they were worried about skin suffocation. And it's like it's pointed to as like, look at this urban myth. Like look at these. It's like fan death or whatever. It's in the same category.
Well,
It's one of those things
Fan
that
death is
I've always
excellent.
thought it was real. Didn't question it. I was like, oh, that sounds
Are you
plausible.
sure about that?
I don't know. I'm looking it up right now.
Because on MythBusters did either that myth or some related myth where they got painted with gold and they had the EMTs come and like monitor their vitals and heart rates were going up.
Well, I could see you heat retention increasing.
That's
for
what
sure.
I'm-
That makes
that's
no.
what
We're talking about suffocation.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know about the
'Cause
suffocation.
That was
thing.
a thing people would
That's what I'm
worry
getting at.
that you got air through your skin.
It
now,
does say here that it is false.
yeah.
Yeah.
But will painting your whole like sealing in yourself will that
Well, what?
hurt? Like if you paint your whole body
Yeah.
and you're all sealed up.
Sure. Like
We
like
can't
body
regulate-
paint.
we
What
can't
are you
regulate our
thinking?
temperature.
Like a tiger? What are you thinking here when your body paint? tiger lilies are on the.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the
gold.
design
It doesn't
is.
matter what the design is.
Well, it does. No, it does.
No,
matter.
it does.
It does. I'm saying it's
I would
very
say it
relevant.
matters. Yeah, what is the design that you're
I think
talking
a big
about?
way we regulate our temperature is opening and closing of capillaries.
Yeah,
and that
well,
only works
so
if
It
you're-
depends on what the design is. I'm
Well,
sure.
it probably depends.
Is it a picture of capillaries?
It probably depends how
This is
good
a
of an
serious
insulator.
episode, guys.
How good?
This is the we've heard of it. All right.
How good of an insulator is paint, right? It probably depends on
not.
the paint. It probably depends, if you're,
well,
if
okay.
you're using liquid latex, that's
Latex,
probably
yeah,
worse.
that's what I was
you
looking
know?
at.
Yeah.
heat regulation and body paint. Is that what you want to look up?
Yes.
If you paint yourself in oil,
I don't know.
Is that the same as slathering myself in oil or donkey sauce?
For some reason, the
Depends
first thing
on
that
the
comes
oil.
Library of Congress subject headings. Why is Library of Congress coming up?
we might have to circle back to
Temperature
that one.
regulation of the human body. I'll read this. You guys.
Yeah, but
Sounds really broad.
But actually,
be here
interestingly,
for a few hours.
So the skin suffocation thing is a common misconception. Like that's
Yeah,
not
we don't
a-
Well, now I know.
Skin.
Today I
Yeah.
learned.
Yeah, it's not like
always
I'm
thought it
just
was
trying to
the
make sure you don't feel bad about that
Thank
one because
you.
that's a really common misconception. But another thing that's interesting, it's probably dare I say as common as people thinking lemmings commit mass suicide.
Do you know where that came from?
Yes, they murdered a shit ton
Yeah,
of
they
lemmings.
did. It
for
was
a nature
awesome.
because the lemmings
It
were
was
boring.
Disney. It was
Yeah.
Disney.
Yeah, it was a Disney affiliated, I think, Canadian film, right?
I think
Yeah,
it was
and
a
they- it was
It was
documentary, I think.
Wild Arctic, I think.
They
was
were
the
like,
name of it.
documentary.
these lemmings are so fucking boring.
Yeah.
And they're like, what if we herded them off a cliff?
Yeah, they just made it up.
Oh, wow.
You know what?
They drove them off a cliff. It was
Holy shit, I
awesome.
didn't
Like
know
they were
that.
hunting mammoths.
Although
That's how people
Yeah,
used to hunt
I will
mammoths
say-
and
Buffalo.
drive them.
Buffalo.
They do it with
the
buffalo,
Native
too.
American.
Yeah,
they
that's right.
called it a buffalo jump
Yeah.
because they would get them all to a cliff and those fuckers would jump off.
Yeah.
And then they would harvest the tongues because that sold the best and leave
Wow.
piles of buffalo, thousands of buffalo.
That's the
to rot.
opposite of what people tell you the Native Americans did.
The mass extinction of the North American savanna is mostly due to Native American market hunting. The demand was provided by the Westerners, but the suppliers were the Native Americans.
So it's still Whitey's fault in a sense.
Sure, yeah, you could always trace it back to the good old Westerners, but
Yeah.
the,
Yeah, how
the Indians
dare us have
realized like,
demand for something?
I can spend all day and maybe make like 4 arrowheads out of stone, right? Or I can give these white people a stack of buffalo meat, which is fucking easy to get.
And the tongues are easy to carry.
Yeah,
right?
and they'll give me like 100 steel arrowheads because they can just mass
Right,
produce
right.
that
They'll
shit.
probably just give
So
you a
like, this
gun
is
at
way
that
better.
point,
Yeah,
right?
so everyone became a hunter.
Yeah.
Everyone
Right.
was a Native American. They were just out there
Specializing.
murdering everything. We had all kinds of wildlife.
So back to the skin suffocation.
no, the
though.
lemmings. Let's talk about the lemmings real fast.
Okay,
It
well-
did create 2 awesome video games, or maybe even 3.
Yeah, there
I
were the
loved
lemmings.
No more
I love
lemmings.
Lemmings.
Yeah.
and your little parachute guys.
Great
and the-
game.
Yeah, that's a great game.
I love the
So-
bomb ones. They were the most dedicated. They would blow themselves
There
up
were
to a-
suicide bomber lemmings?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it was
Had to
like
be.
it
Were
was,
they heroes in this game?
it was a
Dude, they
it
kill
was a
themselves. That's their
2D
thing.
problem solving game.
That's true.
And you had to get from over here to over there, and you had a constant flow of lemmings, and you could choose which type of lemming came up next.
Yeah.
So then, if there was like rocks in the way, you would send in some jihad lemmings, and they would handle the
they would
rocks.
detonate the rocks.
Which is all of them.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And you like have like ones with parachutes who like survive, and you have ones that build ladders and stuff like that. It was a fun
So I've
game.
heard of this
a
game, but
really
I've
cool
never
game.
played it.
Amazing game.
It was like
Amazing
the
game.
Oregon
Give it a
Trail
try.
era. It like,
Oh,
came
God,
on
great
floppy.
game.
It was a long
Yeah,
time.
you
You guys
ago.
ever
That's
play
some good
Load
shit.
Runner?
No.
Load Runner?
Go, Jake. Get it.
Load
That's
Runner.
some low hanging fruit.
I think it was called Load
I
Runner.
don't even know how to work.
It was-
with
It was so
it feels,
easy.
It feels too easy, and yet I don't know where to go.
This joke tells
It's
itself.
because there's too many paths.
You're sure it wasn't Load Swimmer?
Yeah, that's pretty much what Load Runner was. Lots of paths.
I never played Load Runner.
Load Swimmer.
Can you,
It's called
can you
Load
look
Runner.
up? I think it's Wild Arctic by Disney. Was the name of the nature documentary?
Okay.
Well,
And,
another
and they just came up with all this nonsense.
Another fun thing about the lemmings was they didn't have enough lemmings, so they put them on like a turntable system to try to make it look like there were more of them running across the screen because they just didn't have that many.
Yeah.
They're like, this is boring. We have like 12 lemmings. They're not killing themselves. How can we fix this?
It's not like something that they were predisposed to do anyway. They totally made that up.
Yeah, they just herded them off a cliff.
Yeah.
It's great. Well, I mean, it's kind of horrible. It's sad for the lemmings, probably.
So
But-
it's
but-
called White Wilderness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
And there's actually
This
more
is Whitey's
there's actually
fault,
more
too.
controversy on this than you even know.
Really?
Maybe this should
Yeah.
be another heard of it.
There's a whole thing.
Let's hear it.
Well, they're saying that it contains a scene that supposedly depicts a mass lemming migration.
Yeah, off a fucking cliff into the ocean.
They leaped
Migration to
into the
hell.
Arctic Ocean, though.
No, they were thrown.
That's not. It says here.
They were herded.
Okay, there have been some reports that Disney film describes as an actual suicidal action by the lemmings. However, the narrative of the film states that the lemming are not likely to committing suicide, but rather in course of migrating and upon encountering a body of water attempting to cross it. If the body of water lemmings encounters too wide, they can suffer exhaustion and drown as a result.
Does it say anything about them being herded off? Because that's what I had heard, but that might not be
Yeah, I heard the same thing.
correct.
I don't know. I'm just reading the Wikipedia right now. Let me get to the rest
Well,
of it.
so that says the narrative wasn't that they were trying to kill themselves. So that's
So
That's
the
saying
killing
that they can die if they can't get across
Yeah,
the
but
body of
I think
water.
that's the narrative that the movie put forth. But what really happened?
No, the
was
narrative that they put forth is saying that they can die if they can't cross the water.
So
Right,
the
but
killing themselves thing was based on the movie, but nobody said that. Some guy just was
Yeah.
like, oh, looks like they're killing themselves.
But
and then
but the literal act of them jumping off the cliff in the movie was constructed by the producers. They rounded them up and forced them off the cliff, is what I heard.
Yeah, so, okay, here we go. So there's some CBS program about animal cruelty called Cruel Camera, which focusing on white wilderness as well as the television Wild Kingdom. And they discovered lemming scene was filmed at the Bow River, and it was not the Arctic Ocean as they implied in the film. So they just didn't want to go to the place where this actually happens, it sounds like. So I think it does actually happen where they jump into the water.
I like what I heard a lot better than
So
the
then
truth.
it says he also found that the lemmings did not voluntarily jump into the river,
oh, here we go.
but were pushed by a rotating platform installed by the film crew.
There we go. Oh, it was so the rotating platform I was thinking of pushed the lemmings, so it was like probably like a Lazy Susan with like an oar
no,
on it.
I think it's rotating on the other axis, maybe a treadmill kind of thing.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm not sure what it was.
Death wheel.
Rotating is a weird way to describe
Well,
it.
I like to think of a Lazy Susan with like an oar, and it's just it's like
Oh,
one
yeah.
of those like coin pusher arcade machines.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's just
yeah.
sliding the lemmings off the cliff
to their
The
death.
more you put in, it just pushes.
yeah, they're trying to not. They're scrambling to not get pushed off, and then more are getting.
They're
thrown
holding on by their little claw. What does a lemming look like?
They're throwing them in by the
know.
bucket.
In my mind, they're these little bipedal creatures
Yeah.
with blue suits and,
like
green hair.
right?
Oh no,
From
they
their
look like
computer
rodents.
games?
They look like
look
they look
like
like
groundhogs,
hamsters,
right?
They look
Or
like
hamsters,
hamsters
yeah.
or gerbils or something.
They're bigger though, right?
No,
a big
they fit in
gerbil.
your hand.
Really?
Yeah, I think they're pretty small and cute. Yeah,
Oh,
they're probably
yeah.
good pets.
Probably pretty easy to herd off a cliff.
Probably.
Oh, Jeff pulled up a picture.
Yeah, they pretty much just look like a
show
little
you.
mouse.
Yeah, can we throw
can
one
show
up
you
on
guys.
the monitor?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Oh yeah, they're pretty cool.
That would be easy to shovel off a cliff.
That'd be just easy to kill in a multitude of ways.
It's like just scooping gravel.
So I guess the controversy was they filmed this at a location where it doesn't actually happen. So they do actually jump into the ocean apparently, but that's not what they filmed here. They pushed them into a river
Murdered a lot of them for fun.
to reenact. It was a reenactment. It was a dramatic reenactment.
And then they all died.
They didn't volunteer for.
Well, that is
They
good.
can't volunteer. They're animals.
That's good
That's
that
like
it
if we
wasn't-
had a dramatic reenactment for the beach landing at Normandy and actually
Yeah.
killed people.
Yeah, just actually reenacted it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like they didn't want to do this.
It's-
the
it's-
ocean crossing might be something that's horrific out of necessity. It doesn't mean we should do it again to them.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially because
They didn't like it the first time.
A weird selection bias, right? You're getting the ones that may have survived the actual thing, and now you're pushing them into an unfamiliar body of water and killing them. You're removing some good genes, some good lemming genes.
Right. Which do we need?
We used to have
We
the
do need
strongest
that.
lemmings. We have the best lemmings.
We have the longest lemons.
Trump's lemmings.
but one
People call me all the
path-
time to tell me how floaty my lemmings are.
One path I did want to go down is we were talking about skin suffocation, and a good thing to know. This is my little public service announcement. It's very bad for your eyes not to get oxygen for
really?
extended periods of time.
Why?
It's like when you wear contacts too long. So there is some
They dry out,
I don't remember the
contacts.
exact reason, but there is some degree of like air passing through the membrane. I don't remember what it does on your eyes, but. I mean, you know, it's fine, right? You
So
can
don't
wear
paint your
contact
eyes-
lenses.
don't paint
it's
your
like
eyes
it's
gold?
like
Is that-
yeah, don't paint your eyes gold. And
Don't wear
leave
goggles
it
too
for a
long.
long time. Don't wear goggles forever. You know, don't sleep with your contacts in when they're not contacts designed for that. You know, that kind of shit. You know?
Okay.
Little PSA.
Good to know.
you
Good
know,
to
the
know.
Babble Lab. Say what you will about the Babble Lab. But
Say what you will.
You know, we care about our baboons.
No one says anything
We
about
do.
the Babble Lab, nor
We
listens
do,
to it.
We do care about our balloons.
Hey, we got some of our first fans
We do.
that were not part of our friend group this
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
And for some reason, they're all Mexican and in Mexico, from
Yeah.
what I can tell.
That's fine. I love it.
It's great.
If we end up being huge in Mexico, I would love it.
it's
Viva la
puzzling.
Mexico.
I don't have a problem with it. I think it's fantastic, but it is puzzling.
We should meet up in Ensenada next January.
Because from what
when
I
we
can
do our cruise again.
From what I can tell, there's no evidence that these people speak English.
That's why they like the show.
Which is probably why they like the show.
Makes sense.
Can't understand
I'm a
how
lot
bad
more
it is.
likable if
Just
you
like our logo.
I'm a lot more likable if you can't understand me. If I just seem like this chipper, like kind of excited guy, and then you don't hear that I'm like talking about pounding nails and dicks, then I'm much more approachable.
Not pounding nails in dicks, pounding nails down,
Down dicks, yes, yes.
Yeah, those are
important
two
distinction.
different
a whole nother
things.
level.
That's a distinction that's important.
No. Well, I'm not a sadist. You
Yeah.
don't put him into the side of the dick.
I don't know what would be worse, actually.
Down the dick would be worse.
Okay, it's settled.
Depends how long the nail is
I don't want either to happen.
No.
and how
Can we
hard
just
the
not
pounding
have that
is.
happen?
Is it, when we're talking about weird ways to kill people earlier?
I think we were talking about
cement?
internet reviews.
Let's check the reviews on this. See who prefers down dick versus
Well, it's
we
all
should-
5
we should
stars
do
or
a
1
poll.
stars. It's hard to tell.
which one got 1 star.
Both of them.
Well,
It's all 1 star.
as long as we take the median rating and not the average rating, I'm fine with this.
There's one guy that was really, really
So
positive.
everything's
going
going
to
to be 3 then.
And we have to weight it based on how have they reviewed similar things in the past.
what would be
Right?
similar?
like if you
Don't
ever,
answer this question.
like nipple torture kind of stuff.
Okay, that's some bullshit. All right, that's like when women give you shit because you say like getting kicked in the balls is the same as childbirth. Getting nailed down your dick is way worse than getting nipple torture.
No, I'm not saying one's they're
somebody
equivalent.
arguing
They're
that?
not equivalent.
I'm saying if you had to find a similar niche
Yeah,
of
yeah.
things to review,
Yeah, getting
Weird
stabbed
sex stuff.
with anything
Any
anywhere.
body
those
mutilation.
people that like to hang themselves with the piercings.
They like
Oh
that,
yeah,
though.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
actually a good thing for them, apparently.
Well, there are probably people that like having nails pounded down their dicks too.
What were those videos in like 2000? Can't kill yourself. You ever watch that?
No.
Oh,
There was the
yeah.
Pan Olympics.
Yeah, that too.
The Pan Olympics were fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cutting off
Well, it's
their
hard to
own
tell.
dicks.
It's hard to tell which ones were fake and which ones
Yeah.
were real too, because there was a lot of like some of them were just people who were like makeup artists, like fucking around.
Yeah,
with
really
stuff.
good fakes.
And then they got people to actually do things.
Yeah, some of them were actual horrible stuff.
Did you guys see that campaign like last year that 4chan put out that they put out the story that Justin Bieber got cancer and
Oh,
that they were
God,
shaving
yeah.
their heads in solidarity.
And they got like a bunch of
Oh,
teenage
yeah.
It's like
girls to
shave
shave
your
their
head
head.
for Bieber. So
Yeah.
so these little girls were posting videos on Twitter of them like shaving their heads and saying, "This is for you, Justin."
Sounds like those rascals over at 4chan. Did you guys ever see the legendary 4chan thread where that guy stole a skull from the catacombs?
No.
And he posted on 4chan. He's like, I stole this skull from the catacombs, the famous
like in
catacombs.
France?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to do with it now. And the overwhelming response was put your dick
Put your dick in it.
So he put his dick in it
Yep.
and then posted a picture on 4chan. So some guy that died, 500 years ago or something, is having his remains skull fucked because of this thing that would be completely unfathomable to him called the internet.
I don't think he minds.
He thought he was safe in the catacombs.
Yeah, he thought being in the catacombs would.
It's 500 years ago. He should be okay.
People occasionally get lost and die in the
Heard that.
catacombs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
They made a horror
wonder.
movie
I
out of
wonder
that.
if they just leave them there at that point.
Well,
Like, I mean, they
Eventually, they just add to
confirm. They go confirm that they're dead, but then
do they? I don't even know if they do. Because
well, they can find people.
do they have the whole map of all of it?
I think so.
Do they?
I think so.
So once
Well,
you find the person dead there, then you just like lift them up 2 feet and put them on the
yeah,
shelf.
put them
there.
on the side. Yeah.
Oh, here's
so,
one.
So the thing is, there are maze solving techniques for large like labyrinth like mazes. Like
Take
there's-
all rights.
There are things like
I do
that,
it
or
with
like
that.
you
I do
put
the
your
breadcrumb
your left
technique.
hand on the wall.
You follow
and-
it.
Yeah,
You will eventually
that kind
get
of
out.
stuff. Yes.
What?
Yeah.
If you take one direction the whole time, you will eventually get out.
Huh.
Versus,
Why?
because if
It
you
could take a very long
it's
time.
the most basic methodology. If you don't have any approach to it, then it's possible to repeat. But if you're always going the same direction, it's not
What
possible.
if
Unless-
you circle back in a square?
Yes,
every
unless
every
you're-
shape is always a loop eventually. Doesn't matter how many bends in it, it always comes back to itself.
What if it's just like, imagine this, a right turn or a left turn, a left turn, a left turn, a left turn, you're right back where you started, circling around this square.
Right, but that's
Pillar.
the goal, right? Is
Okay,
to find
but then-
but the problem is if you go down a track,
only one
you
part
don't
of
know
it,
which
though.
track
right?
you
I
went
guess
down.
I'm assuming there's no loops around,
And then
Yeah.
you're
And
into
it all
a loop.
falls apart when you
Yeah.
add its complex geometry with multiple loops.
Well,
Yeah.
that's why I think it only applies to labyrinths, right? Labyrinths and mazes are two different things.
I
I,
have no
think to
idea.
be
Right.
a labyrinth,
A labyrinth has no forks; it's a circle.
yeah, I think it's a
Spiral.
single path toward the
word.
center. Yeah,
Oh, wait, if it's a single path, then just follow the path.
right.
You don't need it. You don't need any techniques.
Does a labyrinth does it need
labyrinths
to
like
have
that.
no forks? Is that the?
If you Google labyrinth,
I thought it was no loops
right now they were like a meditative thing
Oh,
where you just walk
Huh.
in this spiral.
Oh, so it wasn't even like
Things
supposed to be
get tighter.
difficult.
No, the trick was to put a minotaur in the middle.
I did hear about that.
That's how they got you.
A labyrinth.
And then
That
images.
labyrinth was poorly reviewed, and then I was like, well, I don't know. This review seems a little. There's no minotaur in there. There's no way.
It's a damn cow.
This guy's a dumb shit.
Someone said they went all the way to the middle and they only found a normal cow, so 3 stars.
yeah. Did not get gored.
I want a bipedal cow, please. Not this quadruped bullshit that I could find at any farm.
I did not pay for a fucking quadruped.
I can get that anywhere.
Yeah.
Did you look it up?
Yes.
Well, let's see it.
Do you want to hear the review?
No, not the movie.
Of the labyrinth?
Just click images.
Well, there is a movie called Labyrinth.
That's a good
No,
movie.
I know that.
not.
With David Bowie.
That's kind of what's coming up
Click
here.
images and let's see if it's a spiral.
That well, they
Just
are
say
usually
labyrinth map.
They're usually in spiral shapes, but I mean,
Exactly.
there are.
See, these are meditative things that always resolve, but they don't have turns.
They do have turns.
I mean, they don't have forks.
They do have forks.
That's a maze.
I don't know
labyrinth.
if all of these qualify as
labyrinths.
labyrinths.
You follow these.
I don't know.
I think some of
This
this might
isn't
be
a definition.
incorrect.
This is just pictures.
I know. It's hard to say.
This is my anecdotal evidence based on reviews.
How did we get on this topic?
All right. So anyway,
Internet reviews.
Internet reviews.
So we all agree the 5-star system is kind of gone wayside.
There are ways to improve it.
Right, they're curves. There's
It's
role
what we
confusion,
have.
There's no context.
Yeah.
I want you to say either recommend it or don't recommend it.
But I do think they're really important.
I like the meta stuff that Jake's talking
Yeah.
about. That's
I think
really cool.
I think the way you correct it is by not trying to correct the behavior, because people are going to be shitty. And all right, so
You
there
learn.
are 2 directions you can go. You can
that means you have to track people, though.
You
which people
can-
have a problem with.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're always
across all,
doing it.
across all services though, and
No, not necessarily, right? You can, if someone leaves enough Amazon reviews, you can.
yeah.
you
So
can
then
do
if
that.
someone
And
owns
people
a
might
competitor's store, they'll go over there and just
People might
rate it
review
badly.
different things
No,
differently,
I-
though. Like, what if someone's very agreeable, but they're also like an audiophile, right? So they give very generous reviews on everything except like music or videos.
We're
you know,
not-
and then they're very harsh on
We're
that.
not talking about a silver bullet here. We're talking about a thing that could improve
Right, yeah,
the quality.
exactly.
Right.
There's gonna be a
nothing's
problem
gonna
with
be
every
perfect.
system.
Yeah, nothing's going to be perfect.
Right.
You're looking for incremental.
Well, most of these things too are very inconsequential. Like you buy a product, it's not as up to your standard.
I've never
you
been
return it.
surprised.
No, I
when
haven't
get
either.
something.
So
Yeah.
that's the other thing is we're pretty good at filtering through enough to find.
But
the
it
things.
takes filtering.
It does take a little bit of self-filtering and actually reading things, or just trying it. And if it doesn't work out, then you can return it.
Sometimes I do wish I could just like go onto Amazon, type what I want. The first result comes up, just click on it and just buy it.
Right. And
No matter-
I've been
regardless of
doing
the
that
thing.
more, and
Really?
it's been okay.
It's probably fine.
It's really not that
there should
bad.
be a I'm feeling lucky button
Okay.
on Amazon, like there is on Google.
But there's also like the other spectrum of it that is really important for, say, like doctors or going to get things done. What are you wafting my way?
But even doctors are so subjective, man. It's like
I've been
It is.
farting
It's
nonstop.
hard, but
it's hard. How do you rate a doctor?
I
Some
don't
people
know.
like certain things. Some people don't like other things. Some people
I
might
like
have
when
had-
my surgeries
Okay.
are successful.
here's
Yeah, but some surgeries are harder than others. Some surgeries,
Right.
no matter where you
Yeah,
would have gone.
and you still don't know
trick-
if they're real or not.
The trick
And that's
is that
the problem.
the people who are dying aren't reviewing.
And
at the
actually,
doctor's office.
that is a bigger problem because like a lot of people, like you see a product has 5 1-star reviews and no other reviews, but it could have been 1,000 people that bought it, and the people who liked it just didn't take the time to review it.
Yeah, I think the whole thing is like it's clearly flawed.
And you have to I think the first level that you can peel away is this something that is objective or subjective, right? Like the restaurant shit, you got to really like take
Right.
with a grain of salt. Movies, you got to be like, maybe it wasn't really for them. Most people don't have a framework to apply to a movie, and like they're not walking in with a rubric.
Right.
It's just like a gut thing about it. Like, I didn't like it.
Well, the final solution to this is to create an underclass of people who are
Jesus.
people who are too stupid to be allowed to review things or communicate with people outside of their group, their caste.
What if you charge a surplus of $5, like extra $5 for every item you bought, which is refunded to you when you leave a review, regardless of a good review or a bad review? That way, everyone would be incentivized
That's
to
like
leave
the
a review.
Aldi method.
It just won't ever
Cards.
play out. So you were asking me earlier if I ever leave reviews, and the answer is yes, but almost only when it's something that I'm really passionate about. So like I bought this projector a while back, and I thought it had this awesome feature, and I was really compelled to leave a review.
what was the feature?
It had
Did
this.
it put the image on a wall?
It was screen pinning, so you could like drag the corners to get to exact corners of
Usually
where you wanted
the
it.
keystoning is such a pain in the
it
ass.
sucks. But
Yeah.
this thing, you just like literally drag the corner
That's
exactly
awesome.
to where you wanted it. Yeah, and I was like, this is an excellent
That's how
feature.
you do it, yeah.
And I want to review this.
That's one of those
so
features
other people
where
will
like
find it.
every projector in the future will just be done that way.
It'll just
Right.
sense the wall.
It's a
probably.
game changing.
That
makes
was
so
the,
much more
the
sense.
same one that I was really impressed that you were able to put the projector at like a weird angle.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then it skewed the image correctly.
There was multiple things about
That's
this. It
what
was
we're
really
talking
bright.
about, Stony.
No, but not only that, it was like I had it in the corner of a room aimed at the middle of the room.
And the walls were 15 feet apart. It wasn't much.
It was pretty impressive. So, anyways, that's the type of thing where I will actually go and review something. But just speaking on the back on the topic of the doctor thing, like I currently I need to get some medical stuff done via dentist, and I'm trying to go to Mexico to do so, and that's really scary without having any reviews.
You have read reviews,
Sure, I've read reviews. That's my point. Is
but you don't know which reviews.
I don't know. But I still wouldn't go to a place that has none.
All the reviews-
which is
Right.
the biggest problem.
all
Especially
the, all the
When it-
reviews could be fake.
I guess my point is I'm willing to say like, okay, reviews don't matter that much, and I won't really heed to them up until the point of like, oh shit, this thing is really important to me.
Yeah, that's the weird thing is that
I will still go
even
for
our
them.
podcast. If our podcast had 100 5-star reviews, we'd probably be on the featured segment. And even though it means nothing, right? I mean,
Right.
it's still going to be a shitty
Hint,
podcast.
hint,
no matter what you-
listeners.
No matter what we do.
By the way,
It's going to be an incoherent mess where we talk over each other and say ridiculous
Exactly,
things.
but we could still get featured just because people leave reviews.
yeah, that would be really cool if people left reviews.
I mean, that would never
they got-
happen.
It wouldn't
They
mean
got
it
that
wouldn't
from
matter to me
subtext.
though, because
Subtext.
leave some fucking reviews.
Thank
Do
you,
you, do you want nails pounded down your dick? It's not leaving reviews is how that happens.
I had this idea one time that I was going to make a Yelp account that was entirely novelty, where I would.
That's
just,
why I don't review things.
I know.
I have to make a fucking account.
That's true too. But I thought this might have been worth it. I was going to go to all these restaurants or just businesses and only review the bathroom toilet paper.
so good. Oriented
No,
correctly.
it's just if it's-
double ply.
5 stars. 5 stars.
5 stars. Oh, this place. This was just sandpaper.
Remember that Cole, that time that
They
my
only had a
girlfriend-
bucket of floss picks in the
My-
stall. I didn't know what to do.
My girlfriend really wanted me to. She wanted to review something, but she's like, "You're a better writer, so write the review for me." And
That doesn't-
she was.
But then it's not her review.
She tried to force me to write like what she was thinking onto a review. We
that
had
doesn't
similar
work.
thoughts on the thing. What I ended up doing in order to rebel against this was I wrote the review and it sounded really good, but it gradually got kind of anti-Semitic. Not and I make a lot of these jokes. I am not an anti-Semite.
Sure.
It can be fun to joke about things that are ridiculous. And anti-Semitism is ridiculous. Like, why the fuck would anyone be like that?
You're
right?
currently talking about anti-Semitism, and a minute ago you just used the word "final solution."
Yes. Again, it's fun to make
You're
these
projecting
jokes.
a lot onto those words. There's
You'd-
nothing wrong with those words.
You'd have to.
You're not wrong.
There is some wrong stuff packed into those words. There's some baggage
They have history.
associated
They
with
have
those
history.
words. Yeah,
The words themselves separated, fine.
those words are like the girl who tells you about her family problems on the first date. Like there's some baggage just kind of in
That's what
there.
you're starting with?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's not a good leading talk.
Did anyone else think about that when you would play Smash Brothers and play in Final Destination?
What?
Wasn't that the name of a map?
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Smash
yeah.
Brothers Final Destination?
Oh, like the movie? Is that what you?
What
were,
was your point about
I
it?
always subconsciously read that as Final Solution.
Oh,
No,
It's not
nobody
coming-
else thought
No,
that.
no.
no.
Okay.
So we do have one anti-Semite here, but it was not Jake.
It was not
surprisingly.
Jake.
Weirdly enough,
I just read everything as final solution.
that's weird.
So it keeps coming up in my life. Yeah.
So then, what's the best solution? Is there no good review
What's
system?
the best solution?
Not that kind of solution.
No, I think that there's nothing wrong with the system. It can be improved on. What is
What? There's a lot
is
of- there's
wrong
a lot
is
wrong
when
with the system.
No, it's what people do with that information. Right?
No, the
It's
system
what
is
needs
fucked
to
up
be-
by itself. Look at all the mills that are just farming reviews.
Cole,
No,
is
but
your,
we're
is your
getting
answer
better
to just
at
get
the-
rid of reviews?
No, but there's
yeah, I think it's totally necessary. And
Well-
yeah, there's always going to be problems with stuff, but people just need to be conscientious and understand that there's no context, there's role confusion, there's critique syndrome,
majority
Right.
of them are going to be fake.
and as long
I don't
I
think
don't know
the
about not a
majority are.
majority.
I would
They're
say-
getting really good. They have programs now that are 90% efficacy of scrubbing these out, which I don't know how they know that, but
But not
Machine
if
learning
it's
can do
just
some
5
cool
stars.
shit.
Not if you can't leave a review. If it's just 5 stars, they can't really root that out.
right. But again, the ratings are a starting point. You see the stars,
Yeah.
and that gives you a certain set of information. Then
Yeah.
you dive deeper if you want to into the reviews, and then you can learn more from that.
I know, but you could pay.
And then
can pay for reviews.
The third layer,
So,
like, was
Cole,
this
what is-
helpful? The
what is
meta
your
review.
I don't know.
solution
I don't know.
here?
But there is a flaw with the system.
Obviously.
Oh,
Sure.
yeah. I
Like-
think it's
like with any
inherently
system.
it's inherently flawed. You can't expect it to be perfect,
But I think the greatest
It's a
avenue
tool.
of improvement is putting the reviews through the correct prism when you process them.
I think the only people who should be able to be review items on Amazon are people who have purchased it.
Yeah, that would help.
Yeah.
Specifically not having any people that are sponsored to try
I can
an
agree
item
with
out.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're the only ones who have an educated opinion.
They should have a record of you putting in a credit card and buying this product.
Yeah, you can own. Yeah,
But
that would
This would be very easy to do on Amazon.
Well, but the problem with that,
they can link purchases.
yeah.
problem with that, Amazon's never going to go for it because the more
They
things that are
want the reviews.
5-star, they want the reviews. They want as many reviews and good reviews as they can because
Yeah.
they get a cut.
Well,
of it.
what's better,
gotta-
quality of reviews or quantity?
I liked
To them, probably
your
quantity.
Probably.
I mean, that's
was
what
that you
they
called the
jam on.
Aldi idea? Like
What
Nothing.
the tax?
So somebody said, yeah, charge
Yeah.
them a little bit.
Yeah.
I think $5 is a bit much. Maybe like a 5% increase in price, and then it gets refunded when you write the review. That's kind of a cool idea. That's like the shopping carts at Aldi. You put the quarter
It's
in,
just unrealistic.
Maybe if
and
it's
you get the quarter back if you return the cart.
it might be just me, but if
Not
I'm
that unrealistic.
kind of forced to give a review,
I might just phone it in.
I'm not going to give a good review.
Might be like it was good.
Right.
5 stars.
And it might result in misinformation, which
Yeah.
is worse than no information.
At least you'll probably
Right.
put down a star rating that reflects your
Yeah,
opinion.
if the minimum was
mostly.
easy enough, like just clicking stars, I'd do it, honestly. But if I had to write something, I would just ASDF and hit enter.
Right.
You know?
And I think that's the reason I only review things when I'm compelled to. And it's not only when it's something that's great, like that projector was. It's if you like have a good reason, be like, okay, well, this.
I think that's a good thing for reviews, though. A lot of products out there, it's like, why are you reviewing
Right.
this shit?
Yeah,
Like,
it should be
like if it's just a
limited.
commodity thing.
right.
Who cares?
Right.
It's more about the price point, But if it's like a fucking car, or
Yeah.
a projector, then we need to really filter
Yeah.
through this and get to all the layers.
If it was like a car, it needs to break it down further too. It needs to be this isn't just the car. You're evaluating certain features, like you were saying earlier with the camera on a phone.
Right,
You
yeah.
say like, okay, that this camera is like 8 out of 10 or something like that, and then explain why it's
That was
so
it
good.
was really helpful when I bought my last car. Everyone said the nav sucks.
Right.
So I didn't get the package with
the nav.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and that's the other thing too is we're only talking about like people, just random people reviewing it. We're not even talking about like professional people that review. So like you go on Gizmodo or Engadget or something, they talk about a new product that comes out and they explain to you the reason why something's good. And it's a breakdown.
Right.
Those are so much more effective.
I trust
for me.
those a
Yeah.
lot more.
I trust those a way more.
Video reviews where people actually have the product
Yes,
in hand and
totally.
you know that
Yeah, they put effort into
Yeah.
it.
Those
Yeah.
are
And they're citing stuff. They're like holding a thing. Like, you see how this does
Yeah.
this?
Right.
That
and you can
means this.
determine for yourself, is that a problem for me?
But then if you're buying cups on Amazon and people have
Yeah.
like 3-star reviews, it's like, does it hold water? Like,
Sure.
fuck
Also-
you. Why did you take the time to do this?
You still don't know that those people are
Well, there's a
not
Prop
being
65
paid.
label on it, and it can drive me cancer. So
All PVC.
You still don't know that those
In all fairness, if there's a Prop 65 label on your glass cup,
there
that
usually is.
that could be a
Well,
major
most glass
problem.
has lead in it, I think.
I
wanna
I
say that
buy
for some reason.
I buy unleaded crystal for all of my cups.
It's all
of
Swarovski?
my glassware.
All of your needs.
Some of it's Swarovski. Or no. Is it?
Crystal.
All your tumblers.
it wouldn't surprise me.
I can't remember.
Do they make tumblers?
It wasn't Swarovski.
I have a lot of Christmas ornaments.
Oh,
that are
Lennox is
Swarovski.
what I'm thinking of.
Oh,
I have
okay.
Lennox martini glasses in my bar.
So I think we all agree there's some issues with the system.
There are merits, but you have to understand the merits. That's the conclusion.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah,
Look at them for
we
what
need
they
it.
are.
we need reviews for various reasons.
Just don't trust things at face value.
Anything.
Yeah.
Unless it's
anything.
our review and it's 5 stars. You just
except
go with that.
like
Go review our podcast.
woodcases.com. Let me tell
I'll
you.
give it a 5.
Now that's a 5-star product.
It's kind of a niche market. I was looking at the other sites and they kind of like all look the same.
Yeah.
But when I learned like the mechanical differences about how Woodcase goes about it versus the other ones, I was like,
Oh, yeah.
bunch of fucking shysters, those other guys. Wow.
Well, it's essentially gambling. So
It is gambling, but
Yeah.
it's like they're like overtly fucking you with the
Yeah,
odds. So
right.
like,
This one's
like
not
you
so
sit,
bad.
you
wouldn't
sit
be
down
legal
at
in
blackjack,
Vegas.
and like
Yeah.
everyone knows, like, oh, I have about like a 49% chance of winning this. I know it's tilted towards the house.
Yeah.
Everyone understands that.
Yeah.
But the odds are clear.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm really shilling
kinda,
right now.
They're kind of hitting you with the dildo nunchucks a little on that one. You know.
and with that, I think we need to end this episode.
Okay. So next week there's going to be no substance. We're just going to do never heard of it.
3 whodunits.
Yeah.
And
Cole's gonna pull up some Wikipedia articles that he's briefly looked at and we've never seen.
I have briefly
We're
looked at
gonna
them.
guess what it's about.
Just briefly.
I
and then we'll
skimmed
learn.
them.
We'll learn together.
Okay, let's do it. And we'll see you next week. Listen in then.
This is the Babylon Ball Game. What? Wow. This is the Babylon Ball Game. What? Wow. This is the Babylon Ball Game.